Hey, today guys, we are going to go over how to adjust your rep sets and percentages and how to adjust from workout to workout or from as you're adjusting from hypertrophy to strength, power, and speed. How do those adjustments happen? Okay, it's not as complex as it's probably been made out to be. So I'm going to kind of break this down, especially as far as our programs are concerned. So this is an example out of Hypertrophy 2.0 program. This is the very first legs day. Okay, so this is legs one, or a portion of it, abbreviated. Okay, so when you're looking at a program, right, the first thing you're looking at is, okay, these are names of exercises, clearly. Okay, and these are not hard and fast really necessarily, because one of the things is like, hey, if I don't have a particular apparatus, like I don't have, like maybe this might call for a yoke or call for a wedge that you might not have. The idea is what we're trying to do is try to mimic that movement pattern, not necessarily the exercise. Like a barbell back squat is challenging a certain muscle and bones, right? Ideally, that's what we're doing. We're doing the back squat to challenge a certain group, a posture, in hopes of creating a development, okay? So we're not going to necessarily change this unless you're unable to do this. And then if we don't have the ability to do a particular exercise, you just ask yourself, what movement am I doing? Is it a squat? Is it a lunge? Is it one leg? Is it two legs? And then say, okay, well, I don't have that piece, but what other exercise is creating a very similar or same challenge? It's, within my posture, within the movement. And that can be replaced pretty simple. So don't get too wrapped around the axle of not having a particular apparatus. Ideally you want to do a full gym to have some options. But if you don't have a certain thing, just try to replace it with a similar movement pattern, okay? When you're looking at this, for example, like again, if you don't have a wedge, then we don't have a wedge, and that's okay. We can omit that. Ideally, we're gonna try to get as close as we can to the description, but if we don't have a 15 degree, we have a 10 degree, or we'll find a way to elevate your heels and elevate the angle of your foot. That would be awesome. So what we got over here, I'm gonna give you a percentage of body weight. BW is body weight, or it's gonna say a percentage of your 5RM or 3RM or something. Okay, and then it's going to give you sets and reps. And what we typically like to do is, what doesn't change is the prescription of reps and sets. So this 40 reps, we're not going to deviate from 40 reps. That's the prescription. So ideally what you're looking at is prescription is the name of the exercise and the total number of reps. And then your question is like, right? This is 40 reps. Is it 8 sets of 5, 5 sets of 8, 4 sets of 10? Meh, right? What we're really just trying to do is do math, right? What mass, right? What mass can we move in this exercise over a given prescription, okay? And if I can't do 40 reps at this prescribed percentage, well, what do? You drop this percentage down to where you can accommodate all 40 reps without your acceleration slowing down. That's the mathematical answer, right? We don't want to change the work volume. Work volume is prescribed at 40 of this exercise. Now the percentage or the intensity or whatever, the speed in which I move, that's what's changing. Because what on a barbell back squat, the mass isn't changing. It's staying at a percentage on the bar, whatever it is, right? It's not sloughing off, it's not getting lighter. Okay? The distance that you travel on your squat, right, also does not change, right? So if the distance doesn't change, the mass doesn't change. The only derivatives that can change are time and the way that you move that bar. Okay? So our idea is to take 40 reps and move it with this exercise as optimally as possible. And if you're not able to do the reps and sets, it's because the percentage is just a little bit high, and that's okay. Like, don't think that like the percentages given in the program are absolutes. They're not. This is just, hey, here's a good place to start at. Is this too light? Is it too heavy? Or is it just right? It's like going to the eye doctor when they're switching between lenses. Is it better, worse, or no change? And that's what you're doing for all 5 sets. Because your first set, you might be able to get 80%. And then like, man, that was awesome. Your second set, maybe you'll get it. But by your third set, your bar starts slowing around 6 reps. You take note of it, and then the next set, maybe you drop this down to 75 or 70%. So your last 3 sets of 8 or 5 or whatever it may be, you're not slowing your mass down. And when you're not slowing your mass down with a given mass that you've chosen, we have every fact of every single time that your math will always be higher when your state of acceleration, right, is at its best. When your mass isn't changing, right? The mass isn't changing, right? The distance isn't changing. The only thing that's changing is your state of acceleration and the time derived that's not over here for power, okay? That's the reality, is like that's how you do programming, okay? It's really not that complex, right? But the problem is people come in and go, I can't do 80%, oh, poor me. No, just this 80% is just a place you go, hey, like, these percentages are, here's the full answer. All of these percentages you see on this have been derived from special operations. Like every athlete that comes in, these percentages are the ones that the guys are using and working and succeeding. So we base our numbers, these percentages, off of successful candidates, which we have dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of, okay? So what we're doing is the math that we're doing for you all is special operators math, right? That gives you the time and distance, because this work volume here, these are all work volume. This is 40 reps over a given weight, right? Right? There's a mathematical equation to that work right up here, okay? So we're just doing each one by trying to get the most amount of work for each one of these. And we'll always get the most amount of work out of these if we're always managing this percentage while persisting with the number of reps and persisting with really good movement patterns and really good quality movements, right? When our movements are really good, this math matters. If you're doing an RDL and your 50 reps are junky, or their 50 reps are good, who is going to get the most out of this 50% body weight? The ones in which we're most technically sound. And so we want to adhere to these numbers. We want to adjust these percentages up, down, or stay the same, and we never ever want to compromise our technique on any exercise, okay? And when we're doing that, when we're able to manage all that technique, manage all that stress, maintain a state of acceleration that stays constant, even if we change the body weight a little bit, right? Dropping the percentage down to keep our acceleration up is a good thing, right? We don't want to keep driving this number up, and our state of acceleration, we get slower and slower and slower as we increase weight, okay? That is very counterintuitive to development, and that is very counterintuitive to healing and staying injury resistant, okay? So as you go through this, guys, right, and you'll find that as you're adjusting these percentages to accommodate all these reps, after a couple weeks, you won't probably have to adjust any of the percentages down. It's very likely that you're going to start adjusting some of these percentages up, because that's the adaptation we're trying to go for. These percentages, if we choose the right one, you'll find that you'll work into that adaptation really, really fast, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's a swim, it doesn't matter if it's a squat, it doesn't matter if it is really what we're trying to do is, hey, what's my rep range? What percentage of effort am I trying to do, and what exercise am I doing, right? We hold this prescription, we might adjust this, right? And the only time we would adjust these sort of at lifts is when we do not have the particular apparatus, but that's also not a problem, okay? So this is throughout all of our programs are run like this, which is why we can add a block format. You can drop other modalities into this and look at it the same way, because if this is power and speed, these percentages would be different, and so would these numbers, but the action is still going to be the same. So check it out, guys. Check out the programs. They work exceptionally well, especially when you know how to work through them.